answer is no. They do not look like they want to lock in the APHELIOS here. Might just be the blind pick. Never mind. Who am I kidding? It's the APHELIOS first pick. We know it. We love it. What do you want to think? Do you think Misfortune Gragas? Do you think Gangplank Gragas?
Honestly, there's no rush to pick Misfortune. I just feel like GP and Gragas are so premium, especially for Vitality. I think when you pick GP, you have a simple plan in the game. Make sure GP has a good early game and then just transfer that into bottom, fight with that GP ult, and it's just a very simple game plan. I think that's what Vitality need to put themselves maybe with another victory on the board with some good gameplay, just simplicity.
Gragas definitely a champion who allows you to do a lot of things. I like the THRESH coming in as well, limiting the safety options on the side of Excel, kind of forcing them to pick their support before the second ban phase, it feels like.
I just feel like you set the enemy up for such a free Tamkench pick. Tora likes it. It's so weird to call him Tora because in Swedish it's Ture.
Ture.
And that's not so exciting. It just sounds like someone's on a meadow.
I think the thing is like we've been fortunate enough not to have anyone who can actually pronounce his name properly. So
okay, sorry.
We just call him Torre. It's just like, and it wasn't a thing, but since I know you can pronounce it appropriately, you can call him Torre. I won't, because that's too hard for my mouth to say, but do what you got to do. It's the SEJUANI for now, on the side of Excel, and it looks like it will be the set as well. Technically a flex pick, but instead it's going to be the Nautilus at the last second. I'm going to stop talking about hoverovers. That's usually rule number 1, so flex pick in the Nautilus. You've got the APHELIOS in the bottom lane. You've got the SEJUANI in the jungle. Excel have strong picks so far.
Like the key thing here is I like the SEJUANI for Excel because they do like to play the Renekton. I think that's one way of making that champion more useful, which is a difficult task. But usually we see the third pick top into a couple of bans, the Aatrox, the GP, the Mordekaiser. The top pool of champions is quite limited, but I think we're just going to expect busting out that Renekton pick as usual.
And I wonder now if we actually get to see the Nautilus used as a flex pick. It feels like once set is locked in, the threat of trying to lane Nautilus into set makes it very impossible in terms of the individual 1v1. We'll have to find out, though. The Renekton is going to get banned away. You mentioned it. Expect is the man who will play it. Excel just, or rather Vitality, don't want to deal with it. Cabo does not want to have to suffer through that obnoxious synergy in lane.
So also the Aatrox, I guess, will be the next one. Adds target ban into Expect. Shuffle him into that GP, and then Cabo gets to play his favorite game. A game where his team needs to play for him. Dive GP, guys. I know that's one of his favorites.
And this is the problem with you being up here, is I feel like it's the best part, but I also think for Vitality, the worst part is you know exactly how this man wants to play, so it sounds like, oh yeah, we'll just listen back to the
They can't hear me, right?
Yeah, they can't hear you right now. But the next team that has to play Vitality will just look back on this one. But it is the Aatrox banned away. As you said, it would be a second AD carry ban, though, for Excel, the MF, and the Kalista taken off the table. So instead, it's going to be the VARUS fighting for a bit of lane priority with that pick.
Okay, that changes things up a bit, because I thought they were going to just lock in the 4th Ezreal to just make bottom as safe as possible. But VARUS, definitely, when Nautilus has that ult on and THRESH is out of position, they can definitely play for bottom too. So a very open-ended game from the get-go.
Taking the time here in terms of what options they have. There's going to be a GP, though. Okay. And that means the Cabo's going to get to play his favorite game, as you called it.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I was so confused by the VARUS, because you know the GP is coming. Then you pick VARUS, and you're going to be in a position where SEJUANI ults are going to be flying, Nautilus ult, GP ult, and probably a mid laner that's going to ult you somehow, like a Pantheon or something. It's going to be rough to play a VARUS this game.
Once again, yeah, it's not an APHELIOS, but we're kind of stuck in the same difficult scenario where we were in the first few weeks, where it was just Senna APHELIOS every single game. There's so many immobile champions here that are going to be miserable against this Gragas, but so far the same is true for the Vitality lineup. They are not going to be happy about this GP ult. Comp is going to be a man living through hell in every single one of these team fights. The good news is he has a Lantern. Patrik does not, so there's really no get-out-of-jail-free cards for Patrik if he makes a mistake in the fights.
Okay. Don't like the LeBlanc too much. Because usually with LeBlanc you want to have an AD jungler like a Rek'Sai or a Lee Sin to play for that 2v2, because Syndra naturally wins the 1v1. If she can E freely, then she has a very easy time. LeBlanc as a pick for a mid laner that hasn't played together with the team too much is very difficult to execute.
Does it make sense to a certain degree, though, once you get into mid-game? Is it like a pick that does well on its own if you can have a strong game? This is something that I haven't really thought about a lot, that I think you probably have significantly more, is picking things that set a new player up on your team for success.
I feel like LeBlanc is such a 1v2 champion. That's because you can choose always when you fight. With your dashes and your W, you can always choose when to fight. And with that, you can set yourself up in a position where you're 2v1 against the Syndra. That requires a lot of synergy, I think Excel have the easier to execute composition. Just play for bottom after GP6. I think that's where Vitality need to hope that they have some kind of advantage from the early game.
See what they can build up. Early game execution has not always been on point for the team so far this split, but the handshake from Duke and Youngbuck. Full staff getting in on the action here. Second game of the day. That's the beautiful crowd. You know them. Famous for such moments as cheering for the circle, cheering for Trick doing stuff. They're your favorite people. They're our favorite people. Thank you very much, Berlin. And as we load into game, I always want to believe in the underdog, and I'm believing in Vitality here. Because while Excel getting the playoffs is a big story, Yamato, I think that at the end of the day, I want to see some upsets. I want to see something crazy, and for that, got to be ready for a game like Excel versus Vitality. Because it's all about the upset. This is either Excel dominating this game, or Vitality showing us something new, giving us something to be excited for as we move later on into the split. But here we go, Excel versus Vitality taken to the stage.
All right, level 1 action. I don't think it's going to be on the board. Usually the junglers define it. SEJUANI GRAGAS, not so action heavy.
No. There's no Braum here in this game either. Nautilus level 1 obviously pretty strong, but can't imagine XL committing to it at this stage. I like that we're seeing the cleanse come in from Patrik. It will help at least some of the CC, specifically from the VARUS as well as the THRESH.
Usually when I see THRESH play here in LEC, I don't see them setting up the gank, basically the flash into Lantern Flay. That's usually a guaranteed kill against a champion that is so immobile. I hope Vitality start with a bang because they need to snowball before that level 6 mark, where GPU is going to be just too impactful in the bottom fights.
But then the question is, so Vitality, if they're playing around the bottom lane, does Cabo then get to play his favorite game? You said it already. They want to dive this GP. They want to shut this man down in the early game on the side of Expect. But where does Vitality actually want to go? Is it bot? Is it top? What would you want to see in this circumstance?
Honestly, I feel like the VARUS pick just makes everything so confusing. Right now, with the GRAGAS starting on bottom side, pathing into top, most likely we're going to see Cabo's favorite game, just playing for that top side. VARUS and THRESH, not playing for them is kind of awkward because if they don't snowball, they're going to be almost useless this game. And Nautilus and APHELIOS are going to outscale in every regard.
Yeah, because when I look at APHELIOS, it's just kind of VARUS, but with just more tools. Obviously weaker early on, but as you scale later, you get that utility from the Gravitum, you get the AoE damage that you want. And I have to see if Comp can get something done here in the early lane phase for now. Tori and Patrik stepping forward with a lot of confidence. Junglers both taking relatively conservative routes. It looks like red to blue for Caedrel, where it's just 2 camps on the bottom side for Skeanz. See where these first ganks come out. Might just be the quick back for the Predator boots on Gragas. Caedrel has a bit more flexibility, a bit more freedom, and Cabo is already pushing up, so could try to get something done here. Level advantage with the Facebreaker, though. Double punch into the Haymaker as well means Cabochard is still winning out on these trades.
It's going to be tricky here because Cabochard's lane is going to be in an awkward position because he's not going to get these creeps into the turret. SEJUANI is now on top side and Gragas is behind on tempo, and Cabo is going to lose a lot of CS here.
And a lot of health. And maybe his life if Caedrel sticks around for too much longer. Expect now running forward. That auto is going to power up the stun stack. So we're going to get the deep freeze here. Cabo's not going to have to flash away. That's good news. The wave state now really frozen under the tower. May have to see the TP back to topside for Cabochard, but a pretty solid start for Expect. Loses out on that level 2 trade initially, but bullying with that passive early on.
You see Skeanz is coming up here right away to cover, but Caedrel reads this very well. He's just taking the red, and if Sex doesn't die here.
But forward, the body slam, Expect. He's going to get enough health to walk away. Looks like the grass proc coming in just in time, but that one has got to hurt. Caedrel just sets up the perfect setup on top side. Now he maybe gets to steal the red buff away. That is the good news, but it trades GP Flash to do so. What was this Scuttle Crab? So at the end of the day, it is just the TP for TP. Vitality now up a flash on the top side of the map.
They don't know Caedrel's position still. He has this crazy position behind Skeanz now, and maybe he can set up a gank because Cabo feels that he's safe here because of the crab. No ward, he's going to push in, and maybe if Caedrel can loop around here, then maybe they can kill Cabo here.
Caedrel. This is some Splinter Cell level pathing right here. Man's behind enemy lines.
Tom Clancy would be proud. No, never mind, not proud. He didn't go top.
No, he walked through vision. You have to restart the mission here. There's no way you can do that.
He went for crab fishing.
Very different game. We're on Bass Hunter now.
Honestly, crab fishing can also be dangerous. I used to watch a show called Deadliest Catch. Somehow, I don't know how I...
How we ended up on Deadliest Catch. That was not the Deadliest Catch, for anyone wondering. The corner of that wall, very much not a threat here. It'll be fine. We've now set up the narrative for mid-game. Some people like narratives about playoffs and stakes. In this case, there are stakes for Excel, but we're also going to talk about Deadliest Catch with our boy Ture. See what he can get his hands on. That Nautilus hook.
Love it.
Steelback contesting here.
Oh!
BM. Coming through.
Another.
In, pulled back. Caedrel's got to be hitting himself for that one. And Caedrel's going to go down. The snipe coming over the wall. And you love to see it. The support mains out there. A round of applause for Steelback. That was incredible.
Oh, that's huge for the game. The flash also gone, but also the moral victory. Because that's as much of a spit in the face as you can do in League of Legends, honestly.
Yeah, aside from getting up and crossing the stage, that's about as close as you're going to
Don't
get.
give them ideas, huh? Steelback just walking up, punching, and the flash. Oh, the flash comes later, but the smite was worse than the flash because he's not getting away.
Pulls back. And to be fair, this was the kind of gank setup you wanted to see. You just didn't expect it to happen at the Gromp camp. You thought it was going to happen in the bot lane.
Tom Clancy is just more and more disappointed because this was mission failed.
they've made a lower difficulty in the latest one just for plays like that. Poor Caedrel. And it's brutal now because he's behind in a matchup. We wanted him to get something done. Of course, level 6 is going to be huge. Cannot make a lot more plays, but he was winning. He had the advantage. Felt like he had outsmarted topside, but then Expect gives up his flash. Then he gives up his flash and his life. That's a nightmare. And now Selfie. The one in trouble. No mana left on Mickey. I mean, Selfie's not in too much danger, but things not going super well in the mid lane so far.
I feel like Caedrel is doing a little bit too much of covering for his lanes because he's falling behind here. He's going to reach 6th level very, very late.
Selfie going forward, trying to find the snare, the lock up. Selfie still looking for this one. The flash in, the play back. Selfie's going to grab the kill. Mickey overconfident there. Well played by Selfie. Second game on the stage, already finding that kill in lane.
We were talking earlier about how players need to show up. Same thing for Vitality, right? This is where you showcase your abilities. And right now, Steelback is the one-man show for Vitality. He's doing a lot of good.
Yeah, essentially the job application here.
Yeah.
Steelback's got the resume. Now it's just the practical skills test. And skills are looking very practical. 0-0-2 so far. Moby Boots. He can run around the map if he needs to. And for Excel, the team that we said, hey, they need to dominate. This needs to be a speed bump. If they want to make it to playoffs, they need to smash Vitality. They are not smashing Vitality. This is a game that is very much in control of the Vitality lineup so far. For Excel, they are going to use their pressure on the bottom side to get a little bit of something done. Steelback still stealing camps left and right. This time it goes to Comp. The playback from Steelback. They're getting things kicked off. A little bit of damage goes down, but Steelback now the one in trouble. He is going to give up his life. Skeanz only level 5, but Selfie going to find another kill onto Ture in the end.
Ture.
I try. It's really hard not to now.
Honestly, Ture is also cool because it's the football player, Yaya Ture.
Okay, there you go.
I love that player.
And now we see the same Splinter Cell style play, this time from Skeanz. He's going to try his hands at this one. He's moving in. Here we go. Sam Fisher. Oh, no, he could have got it. Didn't get there in time. He's going to smite Caedrel.
What are these smites, Caedrel? They're always so close.
Selfie coming over the wall, too. Oh, going in.
No ignite.
Selfie goes in. Is going to make it out. No, he's dead. But I'm just going to say right there, that is an alpha move from Selfie in the mid lane. Very poor choice because it does put Caedrel right back in the game. You're going to notice that he just hit level 6 because of that. But you got to respect the confidence.
Oh, he had the reasons to base as well. Got 2 kills, 3 kills now in total. A snowballed LeBlanc is a comfortable LeBlanc, and I think that's what Selfie needs in his second game now. LeBlanc reaching that Lutz Neko first in this matchup is going to make a huge difference.
Getting those merge treads early as well just means that so much of the CC and the fallout potential from Excel is just going to be much less of an option. But Caedrel now setting his sights on the bottom side of the map. The setup is definitely there for him. Patrik will have to keep an eye on what guns he has. He's running low on mana. Doesn't have any of the CC options with the Gravitum available, but could look to get a fight kicked off as Tori clears out some vision. Vitality, though, they're respecting it. They're just backing off. Steelback doesn't want to look for a trade there. Will just pull back. They don't have information on where Caedrel is, but as they see him cross over that control ward, if you check on the mini-map, they're going to know that they made the right choice to back off in that trade.
The key thing to look out for here is Vitality can easily play through mid lane because of how strong LeBlanc is and try to find prior pressure into bottom, while the idea for Excel should be to play through bottom, force with that Nautilus ult into SEJUANI ult, one-shot the target, and then pressure into mid lane. Because right now the 2v2 is definitely in the favors of Vitality because they have better items, Mercury is on, and GRAGAS also has the jungle item finished.
And you can see, as you said, Selfie already pushing it very comfortably into Mickey. Mickey's got good wave clear, but he can't really match in the trades. Not really able to find purchase there with a lot of those abilities. It's only going to get harder as Selfie will grab the blue buff. But there's no cleanse on comp. Get out of jail free card is just the lantern, and if Steelback's not in the right position, it should be very easy for Excel to execute. But instead of focusing on the bottom side of the map, we're going to send Torre up to the mid lane, trying to bail Mickey out, it would appear. Potentially top lane. No, it is just going to be, we heard a lot about this on the desk, it's just going to be the focus on the Herald.
Yeah, the Heralds might be dangerous here. They have a pink ward line in the river. It's dropping very low.
Skeanz could come over the wall.
Okay.
Predator now activated. Mickey standing off to the side, but he misses his combo there. Now wants to go in. Who's going to Skeanz gets that one too. Caedrel gets locked up, and now they're on the hunt. Selfie going over the wall. What else can he get done? Just a bit more damage, but this has been a miserable early game for Excel.
Not clean at all. Not Tom Clancy at all.
No. No
we need better. We need better.
Can we get a lower third of Tom Clancy with a thumbs up or Tom Clancy with a thumbs down for any stealthy plays?
Copyright issues, maybe.
almost definitely. Are we even allowed to say his name? That question answered. But here you go. This is so bad, Yamaha. I feel like Excel were very confident to go for this, but it just turns against them.
That was another one of those situations where Vitality had the mid prio. If Vitality realized that this is happening, they can easily enter. Skeanz activated his Predator boots, jogged in and stole it, and that's the story of this game. Just everything getting stolen from Caedrel. Poor guy.
Poor Caedrel. 45 to 67 in CS. He's had Gromps taken from him. He's had Heralds taken from him. His life has been taken from him twice now. It's a very difficult game. And it's almost 2K gold for Vitality at 11 minutes. They're actually snowballing this game very well. The most gold they've really given up so far is Selfie dying in the mid lane.
And that was into SEJUANI. It was kind of like a, here you go, man.
That was a gift.
That was a gift indeed.
Well, now we'll have to see how cleanly Vitality can set up the next few objectives. In terms of coordination, you still expect Excel overall to be the more coordinated, more organized team. Comp, of course, has the ultimate available, flash and heal up, so he should be relatively safe. Vitality could look to set a play up around the bottom side of the map. Patrik has Cleanse, the Gravitum, and the Infernum if they want to set up a play of their own.
The control in the mid lane is quite beautiful for Vitality. Steelback is hovering around the river, staying in fog. They're pressuring in a 3-1 way quite beautifully. Let's see if they can transition this into a dive or an advantage, maybe a red buff invade, a dragon. There's a lot of opportunity here in the way Vitality play, and Excel need to look to break it. Go for comp, go for that SEJUANI ult and just try to one-shot him.
For now, they're just backing off. They don't have pressure in the mid lane. They need to play safely, and safely might just mean giving up this... Well, I was going to say giving up Cloud Drake, but it looks like Vitality aren't even interested. Selfie can just aggressively leap in and try to lay down the chains. He's going to do it, but Mickey luckily gets the knockback there on the Scatter the Weak. Will deny any potential follow-up play. Caedrel has retreated. Picked up the Cinder Hulk. He will be a bit more comfortable in the place to come, and that is Vitality's cue to get this Dragon kicked off. The vision is there, however, from Excel. If they want to contest, they can.
Some high-level play from Vitality, honestly. They're playing in fog, managing to get mid-prior always, because GRAGAS and THRESH are threatening, and then they recover all the way into bottom. Com gets the pressure. He needs to take that wave, and right now, complete control over Excel.
Excellent look. Snowballing to even more than a 2K lead now, grabbing a Drake for themselves, and for Caedrel, it's kind of game where the team is moving up there to potentially contest the Cloud, but also just to make sure that he doesn't get invaded on, that he can get a bit more farm under his belt. And that just has meant that Cabo's doing fine up here in this top lane matchup, not getting bullied out. He's chilling. He knows he's the one who's going to get a little bit of the short end of the stick here as all the attention goes elsewhere. But still working out fine for the team as a whole.
The tricky thing, similar to the last game, is that GP, if he itemizes Ninja Tabi, maybe throws in a Chainless in there to win the matchup into a set, he's going to have a very hard time against Selfie. Obviously, Selfie doesn't have TP, so it's not going to be relevant post 20 minutes. But if we transition into that point in the game where Riftral takes the outer towers, and all of a sudden we have that mid game, Selfie can definitely find some snap kills with that Ludens that going to expect.
And that's why I think it's always good to see teams prioritize kind of split damage profiles for the solo laners so highly. Very often it's AP jungle with 80 solo laners, but I like this look as well. Skeanz just going to summon the Herald on the top side. Not sure if it was summoned there because it was timing out, or if the plan here is to just kind of slowly push forward. Downside is it's going to give Excel a lot of time to respond. Expect can just...
This looks so silly, honestly. The platings are also gone. Okay.
Well, let's just... Not the best Rift Herald, but remember that that one was free. That was the complimentary Rift Herald provided by Excel, so just a bit of tower damage there. Skeanz and Steelback now looking to contest this one. And the way Skeanz and Steelback are playing together is really just looking very solid. Torre and Caedrel doing the same thing, obviously moving across the map together, but just getting a lot less done.
Showcasing that the jungle support synergy rings true, like two peas in a pod. They have a lot of history playing together in the LFL, and it's showing up for the first time for Vitality. I'm very happy what we're seeing so far.
We always wondered, Cabo talked at the end of the week last week with both of us on PGL kind of about, hey, we're just waiting for something to click. We don't know what it is. We don't know what it's going to take. We asked if being out of playoffs contention might have been one of the things, and it might just be what this team needs to be on the same page, to be coordinated, to have the confidence to go for these big plays. But now, Comp and Steelback are going to need to be careful. There's a lot of members of Excel on the bottom side. Selfie has priority here as he gets to roam down, but Excel just continuing to back off, not taking any risks. And now we're going to talk about scaling, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. Like, looking at the scaling, the issue is still, I don't know where to place VARUS in this composition, because later on the ults are going to start flying. He has a stopwatch and a flash now, but then after a couple of fights, if they go in Excel's favor, without those summoners, he's going to have a hard time.
Ooh, Caedrel, ulti goes in, does connect, but already gets the dash out, so it won't mean much.
Just another Tom Clancy reference right there, man. He's trying to sneak up. It's just, he's playing for the reference at this point.
What other childhood stealth games do we have? Some people play Thief.
Is that a... This is a recent
Metal
game,
Gear Solid, classic. Shout out to our producers for instantly having our backs here on the...
Good first down.
Imagine spending your entire life training for League of Legends just to find out that it's actually all about Splinter Cell here. It's all about hiding, maneuvering through the jungle, denying vision.
It would be hilarious if Caedrel just starts picking like Evelyn and Twitch, jungle, and just goes completely into role-playing this Tom Clancy role.
We got week 9. We'll see.
Week 9, you mean the troll week?
I'm not going to call it the troll week, but if you wanted to call it, I would support that. I think that would be accurate for some of the teams. We'll have to find out. I don't know the schedule off the top of my head, but there's always that, you know, 9th place team playing versus the 10th place team. Neither one of them can change their position in the standings, and they decide it's time to unveil the hottest new picks from things you've tried to ban in solo queue.
I'm excited. I hope I get to be there.
You get to watch the off rolls. We'll find out. But for now, once again, despite the fact that Vitality are absolutely were smashing early on, the goal to start to even up. Oh, the fight they need to get things kicked off. Vitality now have to be careful. Cabochard coming in, Selfie on the outside is going to be big. Going in with the haymaker, the dunk back down. Cabochard needs to make it out, but no, Excel just grouping up his 5, forcing the fight and getting so much done. VARUS coming in. Corruption's not going to spread. Mickey can look for the stun here. Caedrel coming over the wall. Vitality, they were winning the game. They were dominating the early game, and just like that, Excel are right back in it.
There we saw the strength of Excel's composition. If they press their ultimates on the right target, Steelback tried to face check, tried to get a sneaky steal maybe. Couldn't happen this time because Excel were actually grouped, and that's where Excel will find a lot of strength in their composition, while Vitality need to find picks over and over with the LeBlanc, with the THRESH. In 5v5s, they will struggle.
Maybe they can get something done here in the mid lane. There's no ultimate, of course, for the VARUS. Just poking away at Mickey. Ignite going to be wasted, though. If they can get a tower with the mid lane pressure, it's not going to feel too bad, but you can already see Excel trading for an objective across the map.
I don't like that Vitality is chasing up here because the Infernal Drake is open. I feel like the next turret is not in danger. Maybe we'll have a chase here. Predator is on. Steelback with Moby Boots coming around. Selfie with the jumps. This could be huge.
Now we see the fight coming out. Steelback He's going to find the lock up there and expect now leaping face first into the enemy team. This is definitely not where he wanted to end up. This TP not being able to be canceled, defensing many players, but he gets the oranges and he's managed to cleanse his way out of the suppression, but it's still not going to be enough. Expect running for the hills with Vitality finding another kill for themselves.
Yeah, Excel just continuing to push after the Rift Herald has done his job. You should just finish that turret, walk away. Instead, they continue. We had the first fight, Steelback trying to face check here. His teammates are not around. You can see Comp is not even close. Skeanz was channeling his Predator. This is a 5v5 that you don't want to take because XL still need to play with their prior from lanes and then eventually spread that around, make sure that they outnumber at all times, make sure they are the ones playing around vision. Because XL found an opportunity where they're grouped, and this is what XL is going to look for the entire game. If they get too strong and they can just force Nasher, Vitality might be in danger.
You can see here on the rest of the replay, Infernal Drake is going to go down in the meantime in favor of Vitality. The punish play comes through. XL overstaying their welcome.
XL should have just let the Rift Herald finish it, and then the TP comes in, Nautilus is not in position, Syndra has TP as well. It just seems like XL is very uncoordinated to me. We saw in the early plays as well, on the top side, Expect died on the gank, and then there was this as well. Complete uncoordination, Expect TPs, Mickey doesn't TP. This puts everything into question about XL's run for playoffs.
Absolutely does. And it's sad because Excel was kind of one of the favorites, I feel like, to rise up a little bit. They purely got upgrades on paper. Patrik and Toure in the bottom lane looking good. But it just has not panned out for this team. As many great moments as we've seen, we've also seen some big mistakes. And that's kind of what a 6-7 record is always going to be, right? Is just that combination of, yeah, great successes and also great failures. And this might just be another great failure to the list if they can't get it together. Nice sidestep from Selfie, though, on the play. For Excel, they need to find some greater advantage, force some kind of play.
Yeah, the key thing for Excel, though, this composition is a lot easier to execute than some of the things they've drafted. Oh!
GP ult. Caedrel follows. They're just bowling off the tower. All they did is say, hey, back up. We're throwing these ults. You're going to respect it. We're going to grab that mid lane tower. Excel do just that as Mickey's going to TP up to the top side and clear out this wave.
I loved how Com just walked through the GP ult when the Lantern was walking right there. I just imagine like just walking through the mud. And I agree with Amazing here. Excel is a do-nothing and win draft for sure. The draft is just scale and wait, similar to the last game, just picking up, looking to pick a free victory against a team that might have been less coordinated than past weeks. It's a very common strategy, just draft simple, but then again, I feel like there was still a lot of moments where Excel could have executed a lot better. Can't just always rely on your draft, because that's not how you're going to beat the Fnatic. You're not going to beat the G2 if you just rely on draft, because those teams right now are draft kings.
Yeah, well, they're drafting very different than the just get more power picks for your team, get a simpler composition, right? It's crazy picks, it's flex picks, it's all over the place. We've seen in the first few weeks when Origin was doing Draft Kingdom, it was being one step ahead on the meta, and that was a good look. But doesn't keep going, doesn't keep working out for them overall, and it only gets harder to win out on this playstyle.
So the tricky part now is that Selfie doesn't have TP, so he can't be the one pressuring bottom. GP is going to be relatively safe against the Set, because Set hasn't snowballed at all and the items are relatively the same. So Vitality will need to look to get side pressure somehow, but it's very difficult when that top tower is still standing.
Good vision though from XL, spots the flanks out, means that Steelback and Selfie can't get anything done over the wall. And I feel like eventually Expect is going to be that terror. You said it, have to see what Cabochard can get done in the team fights, but he's not getting a lot of gold here. Maybe that changes in the next few minutes, but for now, it's honestly Expect building up a pretty healthy CS advantage on top of all the additional gold GP's going to get anyway. Nope. Ooh, Selfie should be dead. Not the play that he wants. Knockup will come through, and that's going to be it. The hook goes in, the double dash, not enough. Shut down for Toure. That's control for XL.
It's so tough for Vitality to play this mid game now. It's just so difficult because it's impossible to get side prior when your mid tower turret is down, because Exa can just push all the way, rotate in the top side, always catch a LeBlanc. So how does Vitality really pressure this game? They need to hope for XL to do some massive mistakes, no side pressure at all. I think XL can just walk this one in, start Nasher at the point where they control this top side quadrant and hope that Skeanz will come in with a steal. Maybe Caedrel is going to mess up another smite. That's what we pray for if you're a Vitality fan.
I mean, would be an absolute disaster. And you can see in the gold, at least for Patrik and Expect, they are starting to take off here. Significant lead for Patrik over Comp. The VARUS pick has essentially done nothing, if we're honest. This obviously was decent pressure point, bought them a kind of a winning lane on the bottom side in terms of early power, but we've really yet to see the ult be effective. Maybe now in the mid lane we get to see something. Ulti will connect to the Caedrel. Steelback can go there for the follow-up, but it's not going to happen quite yet. The flash, the hook will connect on the support. That's going to get the fight kicked off, but Patrik now just gets the throw to the backside. Whoa, and if that was pre-nerf APHELIOS, that would have been a penta right there.
Thank God.
Yeah, shout out to the balance team for that one. They've taken him down a notch, but Vitality playing with fire, taking some big risks. Going to be the kill over to Vitality in the end. We'll stop the siege for now, but they're all forced to back off, forced to recall. Cabochard's really the lone person defending this tower, and that means that it will go down in favor of Excel. So slow incremental advantage is the name of the game right now for this team.
And then there's the Dragon. Dragon spawning in 10, Excel will be able to posture better for this, but they don't get a chance to go home and buy items. That's the difference maker here, because you can compare LeBlanc items to Syndra items, a lot of gold in the pockets, GP 2K. This is a 4,000 gold deficit right here, if you can count the money they have in their pockets.
Now we're gonna have to see though, can they execute on the fight? Can they get something kicked off?
Best fight possible for sure, Vitality.
Selfie poking, TP now coming in. A lot of gold unspent, as you said, but Excel, composition much easier to execute. The VARUS, the one that we have to keep our eyes on. What is Comp going to do in these fights? Ultimate available now. Selfie, obviously, with the Banshee's not going to get hooked up either by Torre. GP all comes in. Comp going to be in trouble. That's going to be at least 4 or 5 man potentially with the VARUS ultimate. They are going to grab the Dragon, and they now should look to walk away. Backing off, Cabochard gets out of that one. Vitality now on the retreat, but Comp's in trouble. Flash out to safety. That's going to be 3 Drakes for Vitality. They don't give up anything for that one, but they also don't find the fight.
They should pressure Nash right now. Look at the position of Vitality. They need to base, they need to back off. I feel like Excel needs to go towards that Nash area, sweep it out, and make Vitality face shake in a position where they don't want to. Or just go home. That's cool too. Fun. I felt like that could have been a pressure point right there.
To be fair, you did say they had 4,000 unspent gold between the team.
Actually, GP managed to squeeze in a TP and buy the Essence Reaver. That's why I changed my mind a little bit.
That's fair.
But yeah.
I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, Yamano, and you took it out. So okay, so maybe they should have just started Baron. They should have tried to force a play. Excel playing potentially too respectfully, but hasn't cost them yet. After we got out of that early game, honestly, Excel has very much been in control. That single play around the Rift Herald feels like it just really brought them back into the game, made things that much easier.
It's always strange when a team has 3 dragons, because that kind of always puts the question in your mind, can Vitality maybe steal away a dragon? Realistically, they shouldn't be able to set up a good dragon fight because of the team compositions and how they work at this point. Vitality shouldn't have pressure through the lanes. If they manage to steal away a dragon, all of a sudden maybe shift a little bit, because an Infernal Soul on a LeBlanc is beautiful because it adds to your poke. On a GRAGAS barrel, for example, you get some tools for yourself in order to kind of create some pressure, but I don't even know if that's enough. I just feel like Excel's composition is just too strong in a 5v5 fight.
It's just so hard to deal with that Gangplank. There's just too many champions who are going to struggle to get through those barrels. The set included. Blast Cone now taken away, Baron getting shredded through, Cabo still setting sights on the bottom side of the map. All eyes on Skeanz, they're backing off, 2k health. They can look to burst this one down, but they're just pulling back the control wards in the pit. There's really no pressure here. Cabochard just keeps pushing on the bottom side. Excel are actually the ones that need to make a decision. They're losing things in the meantime, and they're walking away. They just gave a free tower to Vitality.
I like the patience there from Vitality, but I didn't really understand what the plan was. They're like, let's stop hitting Nash. What now? I'm not sure, dude. Let's just walk away. And they lost the turret, as you mentioned, Drakos. It was quite a decent play for Vitality to be patient enough to not jump into the pit.
And I understand Excel don't want to risk anything on a 50-50. As we said, Vitality can play no strings attached. If they lose this game, it's not the end of the world. For Excel, it's not the end of their playoffs run, but it's damn close.
They're just skipping steps once again. Excel need to step into the top side quadrant of Vitality's jungle. They need to push this VARUS all the way into his inhibitor turret, but instead they're just controlling the river. So GRAGAS, as we can see on the map in THRESH, they're just getting access behind the Nash, so they can always spot it out, not have any fear at all of anything happening, because they know they can get access to the Nashor. And as long as that's the case, Excel is going to be in this position where nothing is happening. Push the mid-wave all the way, step into the enemy jungle, and suffocate Vitality. Right now, Vitality can breathe some good oxygen.
Feeling comfortable. Fresh air, despite a difficult game. And of course, it's only going to get harder for this to pull off this play when you're going to be looking down the Infernal Drake and the Infernal Soul for the side of Vitality in about 1 minute and 40 seconds. It's no longer just going to be a clear single objective. Cabo clearing out the waves, and You're also just in a difficult spot where right now Mickey has to push out on side lanes as the Syndra. Not ideal. Obviously has the TP, can do it. It's not the end of the world, but it just feels like overall Excel are not in the most fantastic position. And once again, they're going to start this one up.
It just makes no sense. Vitality are right there. Just checking it for free. They have enough wards in their inventory. They can be as patient as possible. Excel just need to take the midway right now. Walk it in, because right now Steelback and Comp, they're just clearing it for free. Look how far up they are. Ridiculous.
The frustration in your voice makes this really fun for me. I know that's not fair, but it does make it really entertaining. It's great. I'm like, yeah, we're disappointed together. Whatever you just said, Yamato. Yeah, I agree. should have done that thing. But I mean, but to be fair,
they're scaling. Whoa!
Whoa! Thrilling, scaling gameplay. They're playing Cookie Clicker. It was Splinter Cell earlier. Now it's Cookie Clicker. Just mash and you wait.
Everyone's favorite game. Stand aside, action and excitement. There's a new sheriff in town, and it's called Cookie Clicker. Lovely.
Oh. And now the Infernal Drake is right around the corner. Selfie does taking some questionable risks there. Leaping forward, losing the Banshee's Veil. You're not going to find the stun. Selfie definitely has to back off till that cooldown comes back up. If they find the kill here, it will make things much easier. Cell can walk right in and take this Infernal. You feel like Vitality, if they want to contest.
Set on the flank.
Maybe looking to do it here. Skeanz coming as well. There's a lot of disruption, a lot of poke coming down. Cabo off to the side, the dunk back, the suplex. 3K health in the Dragon. Keep your eyes on that Infernal Soul. Steelback gonna find the chain. Selfie into the backside. Skeanz buying as much space for Comp as he can. The GP ult goes down. Big ult comes in from Patrik. Not enough, however. Excel gonna grab that Infernal in the end. Oh, and now Selfie's dead as well. This is perfect for Excel. It's everything that they needed. The coordination wasn't quite there. The comp is there for Excel. And at the end of the day, big win.
It's so difficult for Vitality to execute this fight because, honestly, Comp was outside because of the GPU. So here we have another.
And
yes, flash.
Injury. Cabochard, the pullback, the lantern's there. But it's been blocked by wards. He can zoom in and click it. He just can't. That's a shutdown. Now Excel, decent lead for themselves. 4 more minutes before the soul is available.
And Cookie Clicker just went full circle. It turned into Lantern Clicker, and Cabo couldn't pull through. Oh,
now we got.
He's too tanky.
Not gonna find that kill. Here we go. Excel now set up for highway access to the Baron. Don't want to risk it though. So instead, we're gonna get to watch this replay and see kind of what happened here. It was a bit of a messy fight overall. I like the TP flank to kick it off.
So set TP then, it was a good start, but then the issue was that the GP ult came down on top of Comp and he can't get access. Comp has good items to kill tanks with the Blade of the Rune King and the Ginsu, but at the moment the GP ult just comes down, the SEJUANI ult, he's slowed so much. This is where you buy Busu's Swiftness and hope for the best, but he just doesn't have any access. Then the APHELIOS ult on top of that, like he didn't get to play League of Legends here. He just was on the outside, didn't get to do anything. It was a good start, but then the ultimates are just too strong for Excel. That's why we question the VARUS pick so much. You can't get access to the fights. The ultimates themselves on the enemy team just counter you.
Yeah, and if you're relying on your AD carry for damage and the enemy team has a GP, you will at some point lose a fight. You may lose a game over it. Here, Cabochard. There's too many big hitboxes. There's too many. There's a ward there. There's a beefy SEJUANI. There's a gigantic NAUTILUS.
Too much beef.
Exactly. Selfie continuing to poke. Luckily, Banshee's Veil going to keep him healthy there in that case. 3.5 items for VARUS. There's the dream scenario where he gets to shred through all these tanky members, but we haven't seen it yet. I can't imagine it's just going to happen at this point.
It's the same thing over and over. Comp gets to clear the way very freely. Excel need to recognize that he has no turret. Just push it all the way, pressure the GRAGAS and THRESH out of the jungle. They're just chilling there and waiting for the moment to steal. And Caedrel's been very nervous with his smites in this game. Another one.
There you go. Skeanz on point. And that's why they're respecting it. That's my theory, Yamato. And as he said, stakes are high. You don't want to risk a 50-50, but I mean, actually, I guess if you're Excel, you're honestly just like, let's go 60 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
Why not, right? Let's get 6 items.
In the end, we're sitting here and asking for SL to prove themselves, but in the end, all they want is that W on the board.
Yeah.
They can also choose to prove themselves against those bigger teams in the end of the split and next week and so forth, but all in all, we as the viewers want more.
Yeah, because regardless of what we say, I can't imagine Caedrel's up there like, oh, God, I got to prove myself to YamatoCannon and Drakos. He's probably like, I want a playoff spot. Shut up. Like, I will play the most boring, slow game I have to play to get in playoffs. Then we go from there.
Honestly, some of the mistakes he did this game could explain if it was like that pressure from us sitting here, you know? Him dying to THRESH and so forth.
Yeah, that was...
Never good.
That was a rough start. He's hoping he can end strong, though. Get something done. Now they're splitting up the map. They're pushing on the bottom side, looking to take a few more tier 2s. Cabo can't do anything here. He just gets kited if he steps forward. That means the tower will drop. Sal extend the gold lead to 2K. Next Dragon is at 1 minute and 13 seconds. Vitality, while they haven't been able to do anything, neither have Excel, but as we mentioned before, this really just gets more and more in Excel's favor the later we go. So what do Vitality actually do to win this game at this point?
Honestly, they are in their own made prison. Their composition doesn't leave them a lot of options because on the side, when you are losing those 5v5s, you need to find pressure from the side lanes. But when you have a GRAGAS and a LEBLANC, the 2v2 on top side is not that strong. Mickey is itemized fully in the magic resistance. He can always be safe. Mid lane prio in Patrik's favor, so Vitality just need to hope for that big mistake. When you don't have any pressure point, you're at the mercy of your team, and honestly, Vitality has been given a lot of breathing room and they've done as much as possible with it. But other than that, they are at the mercy of their own composition. Excel's composition is just too strong at this point.
It's not going to stop them from trying to get some semblance of mid lane priority. 18 seconds on the Drake. Excel will get the push out here. Patrik trying to poke a bit, expect a similar story. Crab will disappear, it looks like just in time for the Drake to spawn. The TP now coming in. Syndra's going to come to the party, but it's Selfie on the flank. Cabochard going to back off and be the front line for comp in this fight.
It's spotted.
It's going to be big. Selfie could still try to come in. They're going to take the 50-50. Cell trying to play risk-free, but Vitality know they need to take some chances here. Ulti goes in, does not connect. GP ultimate used as well. That's going to be big. Cabo standing on the front line, but Comp still can't get anything done. Keep your eyes on the VARUS. Just zoned away from the fight. Definitely not what they wanted to get things kicked off. Double stopwatch now used. Skeanz going to be in trouble. Manages to make his way out of the pit, but no, Mickey still finds the kill. Comp standing on the back line. It's too little, it's too late, but Selfie takes down Caedrel. They manage to take the Drake. They kill the jungler and they get it. Infernal Soul's up for Vitality. Comp is still alive. The shutdown comes through. Cabo desperately wants to get something done, but at the end of the day, Excel are just too strong. The TP's into the mid lane, and this should just be the end.
That was such a tricky fight that Vitality had a decent start because honestly, Excel wasted their SEJUANI ult and the Gangplank ult, but Vitality hard committed at the wrong time. They could have maybe waited it out and done something better with it. Excel, Patrik staying alive, as long as he doesn't die, the damage is going to be there and he's going to be able to deliver.
Selfie, the lone man. If they hook him, they win the game, but they're not going to take the risk. They are going to back off. They should have clear access to the pit. Caedrel come in 9 seconds. They could just look to start this one, try to shred it out. Skeanz just respawned. They can bait the trap here. If Selfie steps forward, he's probably dead if he goes into that bush, but he's not going to take the risk. Multiple recalls. Intermittently canceled. If Vitality try to rush a Baron at this point, but no chance. Goodbye to Skeanz. You bait the trap, you watch him come in. It's perfect. It might not be Splinter Cell, but it's certainly big game Hunter. Now Selfie has to run, dash over the wall. He should be able to walk out of this one. Ulti goes in, the flash will take him to safety, but Excel just gonna walk in, grab this Baron. Not a lot really the Vitality can do. You can see Comp on the bottom side walking in to check blue buff. Good damage comes in from Patrik, not from Selfie. Ulti coming out as well, he's zoned away. Actual miracle if he can do anything here. He has no flash, he has Mimic Distortion, but that should just be it. Honestly, Excel just going for the victory lap at this point. Baron buff for the next 3 minutes.
It's hilarious that the pick on the GRAGAS, I guess we'll see it in the replay, first the team fight. So I wanted to highlight SEJUANI and GP, the user ults right away. The Drake is going to be relatively healthy. Imagine a situation Vitality back off here completely. They just reset the fight and they played this fight where the enemy lost 2 big ultimates. Drake was very healthy, they had no reason to commit, but instead they're forcing the fight and Comp is just walking through all of that mud, all of those barrels and all of that stuff that is being thrown at him, and he drops down to so much low HP. And then they try to force the fight. They're very uncoordinated, and some of the rookie-ship shows up here in the coordination of the team fight. Excel, Patrik, as long as he stays alive, the damage is going to be there. There's no reason to be nervous ever, as long as this APHELIOS with 4 items is healthy.
Just unkillable, really. There's just no way for them to get on top of him. So for Patrik, this is a field day game. That's 4K damage. VARUS doing 5K. Must have been towards the back half of the team fight.
All that hitting that Nautilus that activates his Gargoyle Stoneblade. VARUS does have good damage on tanks. In a different setting with more protection and more tanks on his side, maybe he could do something in these fights, but it's just too difficult when GP ult lands. That's why I thought Vitality really needed to look in the Barrel Bros. That's the clutch rotation, man. This is the Barrel Bros. GRAGAS, GANKPLANK, the double Gs.
It is, I mean, we can call it the GG for immobile carries.
Oh,
now the Gragas ulti comes out. Comp is going to make it up to safety, but a single auto takes half his health. And there's really just nothing for him to do. Excel walking this one down, slowly moving into the enemy base. Any hook that connects should be a death sentence for the team. And that's going to be it. They're just there. I mean, they're walking in. Vitality, one last
engage
stand.
at all.
Skeanz is really the only engage option they have. Cabo walking forward is definitely not going to be enough.
Cabo maybe TP on these wards somehow. Or chill there, yeah, that works too.
Going in, the hook will only hit a creep though from Steelback. Steelback now caught out. Comp now gets a free hit, but they lose a member in the meantime. Selfie body blocks with the clone. Lots of damage coming in from Comp. Comp now starting to shred. That's the shutdown. Vitality buying themselves a bit more time, but Excel, they're playing with all the time in the world. They say, all right, we respect it. You got the 1-for-1. We'll back off. We'll come back later with a full 5.
I think, honestly, they could have ended. They could have just played it safe. The enemy can't really force on you and just play on APHELIOS range and hit the turret. Because, honestly, Vitality have very little options to engage. You're going to see in the replay here, Cabo's kind of stuck between two turrets. Usually, I want him to TP here and find the flank. But it's turret that kind of jumps in. What's the point of jumping in? What's the point of putting yourself in a position where you can get tossed like a pizza dough into your Syndra? In this case, I think Torre just went a bit too much yaya there.
So much of what came out of your mouth was fantastic. You went a little bit yaya there, tossed around like a pizza dough. I wasn't ready for this.
I'm pretty hungry, man. I'm going to be honest.
It's fine. There's a sandwich next to us for after this game.
Holy. Don't remind me, man.
It's all right. It's waiting. Anytime there. Now for Excel. Some guy in the audience just shouted something at you. Did not hear what it was.
Make some noise. I'm making a lot of noise, man. Open your ears.
Patrik.
Chilling.
I think he's stalling. He's just trying to stack the waves, get them to sync so they push at the same time.
Yeah, I like it. That's a good point. They're stacking and making sure they crash at the same time. Because honestly, Vitality's wave play is not that great. It's mostly VARUS, and LeBlanc is going to take a time finishing these super creeps on bottom side. Mickey has the TP on. But Excel taking it easy.
Yeah.
That looks comfortable.
Yeah, we're gonna pop a squat for this one, Yamato.
Actually, it wasn't comfortable at all. I'm going to stand up, man. My knees. Jesus.
How about, all right, never mind. We'll figure out the mechanics of this later. Need cushions.
Yeah, for sure.
Patrik now with the BT as well, though. He's got so much lifesteal. He's got the QSS from the Mercurial. It's actually going to be impossible to kill him. And I feel bad for Cabo. 0-4-4 this game. Man has just been getting kind of bullied around. Between the GP, the QSS, can't really get onto any priority target. They're just going to cleanse the suppression and walk away.
Here's the pizza, though.
Getting started. VARUS ulti already used. Expect trying to find the big barrels. Selfie just poking down a little bit. Now Elder Drake is big for Vitality. Could get something started here. 11k health though. It's going to take a while to work through that dragon. A Miracle Steal could turn this game for Vitality.
They can maybe end if they fight here. Double TP into base is also very dangerous. The super creeps are knocking on heaven's door right there.
Caedrel over the wall. By Excel, they're going to take the risky play. They're already going to risk the 50-50. They find Caedrel, he's over the wall. They're going to try to get it kicked off, but no. Gargoyle Stoneblade just too strong. He's simply too tanky. TP's now going into the base. It might be enough to just end the game. It's Expect versus the world. I don't even think they see it coming. It's double TP now. The dump back for Vitality. They finally win a fight, but they're going to lose the game. Excel grabbing the win here against Vitality.
Excel find a cheeky victory in the end. The double TP. We're looking for a show of confidence, a show of good skill. I think Excel just happy to walk away with that W because there's a lot to learn from this game, a lot to digest. They can take away the lessons and also the point. I think as a coach, Youngbuck is happy. Maybe. Maybe.
He's happy to get the win.
Yeah.
We could ask him at some point how he felt about that one, but the early game start, we got to give credit for Vitality. I think they played it very well. You know, Caedrel, I think, continuously doubling down to try to get back some advantages after some struggles, and it just kept turning against him. But despite that, they keep composed, keep their eye on the prize, and the prize was waiting until we're just stronger and then winning the game. So, works out.
Honestly, for me, if I look at the team that had a higher level of performance, I feel like Vitality played a very good game. They played together, they pressured the space, and they did a lot of good things this game. I feel like their composition let them down, while Excel with the Gangplank and all those juicy ultimates grabbed the W. Good for them, I guess.
Draft Kingdom. But still, outside of the draft, you gotta vote for your key player of the game at LEC. Expect Patrik Torre. I don't know, honestly, on this one. I expect TP did and ended the game. That's pretty cool. GP alts won them the team fights, but Patrik did, I think, most of the damage, if not all of the damage, so it's your choice.
I'm in the Patrik boat. I think it's easy to lean towards him, because I think that is indeed the superstar of the team. His role doesn't have that much agency, but he does deliver in a lot of those key moments. So I'm a big fan of Patrik's performance so far in the split. Usually a small fish in a big pond. Now a big fish in a small pond, if you consider Excel's trajectory in this year.
Have to hope, though, that the pond gets a little bit bigger as we move later into the split. Maybe they can upset some of these big teams towards the top of the standings. Gonna have to see, though, as we mentioned earlier, it does not get